All right, so fresh off the stage, I've managed to get Mark Cuban right here into our studio. I've got so much to talk to him about. Mark, welcome, man.
Thanks, Rand. Thanks for having me.
Mark, you recently said that 80% of your non-Shark Tank investments are going into crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, smart contracts create a new opportunity to change business, to change the way things have always been done. So I'm looking for new applications that are disruptive.
So I met Mr. Wonderful here in Miami.
I'm sorry.
I'm still getting over that.
I know, it takes forever.
Yeah, so I met him here in Miami at the previous conference, and I asked him a question. I said to him, what percentage of your portfolio is in Bitcoin and crypto-related assets? And he said, around 2% or 3%. And I said to him, what percentage of your time and mind space is in crypto? And he said, about 80%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
When did your mind start going into crypto? When did you start thinking
Probably about
about
a year ago. So I'm a tech geek, and so I try to learn about new technologies, and I was always up to speed on blockchain, but I'd never really spent any time with smart contracts. And so I decided to mint some NFTs.
I remember that.
And they sold, which was shocking to me, but it got me understanding how smart contracts work. And in particular, when I minted it and it started asking me for royalties, and I'm like, I sounded like Kevin, right? Royalties, yes. Royalties, tell me more. And so then it finally dawned on me that, a smart contract on a chain is universal and standard, and the royalties that can be applied there change the game in terms of collectibles and digital file sales. And that, pursuing it from that side of it was groundbreaking to me, and that really got me excited.
So what excites you more? Bitcoin as a store of value inflation hedge, DeFi in terms of people being able to unbank themselves and become their own bank and earn amazing yields, or NFTs, which is...
Well, they're all different. First of all, Bitcoin is not a hedge to inflation. There's no world, no lifetime, no circumstances ever is Bitcoin a hedge. They're not correlated to the money system. It's a great narrative for selling Bitcoin, but there's no correlation there whatsoever. I mean, just look at recently, right? Inflation keeps on going up, Bitcoin go down. You don't see when interest rates go up along with inflation, it becomes more expensive for people to buy Bitcoin, and so it actually puts a lid on the price of Bitcoin.
But isn't that just part of the adoption cycle? I mean, if you take inflation over a period of time, you take Bitcoin over a period of time, inflation goes up, Bitcoin goes up.
That's supply and demand. That's supply. Okay. Supply and demand is undefeated, right? As long as you get more demand and less supply, the price is going to go up. But look at gold, right? They talk about gold as a hedge to inflation. Gold's not a hedge to inflation. Gold isn't a hedge to anything, right? It's just a store of value that is not even a very efficient store of value. Bitcoin's a more efficient, better store of value than gold. There's what, $10 trillion in people who own gold in one form or another. That's a market for Bitcoin to go after, and that and just other people looking for store of values makes it, a legit investment, and that's why I own it. But the whole idea that it's a hedge against inflation is ridiculous.
Okay, and then you got DeFi. What do you?
DeFi I like because look, I can borrow money in 30 seconds. Look, I've got money in the bank and I want to borrow money against it. I got to call bankers and deal with forms and banks and all that kind of stuff, and it's a hassle. So, centralized money exchange is a hassle. Decentralized is a lot easier, a lot more efficient, even though it's over collateralized for the most part. It's still a better way to do it. So I'm a big fan. But the only qualification to that I'll give you is that DeFi, I said on stage, one of my favorite Warren Buffett sayings is first there's the innovators, then there's the imitators, then there's the idiots, right? DeFi was a great innovation. Then there was a lot of imitation, and you're seeing it jump from chain to chain to chain, right? Now you're starting to get the idiots who are trying to, add one feature or this feature or that feature. So you've got to be careful. So DeFi, where you've done, DYOR, where you've done your homework and it's strong, is great. I think there's a real opportunity.
What are your favorite projects in DeFi at the moment?
I don't know if I have any favorites per se. I use Aave a lot. I learned early on just chasing yield doesn't really work. So rather than chasing yield, I chase stability, right? So,
have you been impermanent lost?
Because I wanted to learn what it was like to be an LP, right? So yeah, I've gotten hit with impermanent loss, and I've tried all the different ones, Bancor that says there's no impermanent loss, which is true, but it's a hassle to use, right? And then there's all these different ones. And so,
and you were rugged too at one point.
Yeah, I was rugged on tight. Yeah, I didn't lose that much. Yeah, I didn't lose as much money as people like to say that I did, but yeah, it wasn't painful at all. But I also made money as an LP on tight, so that kind of balanced it out. But you learn, right? And so, and that's part of the process, and that helps, inform my investment decisions.
I would imagine that you're most excited about NFTs because of your sports connections, and because I think you get the nature of sport and tickets and royalties.
Yeah, there's certainly value in NFTs. But again, NFTs are more a proof of concept for smart contracts. And so like at the Mavericks, we give away NFTs to people who actually come to the games, and so they're free if you actually attend the game. You got to scan in, and when you scan in your regular ticket, you get a free NFT, one per account. And that's led to people collecting them, which has created the value, which in some cases, the value of the free NFT you get is of more value, and they've sold them more than the price for the ticket they paid. And so trying to create a value proposition for NFTs right now is the biggest challenge. But really, NFTs are, the way we're seeing them now, NFTs are collectibles, right? And collectibles are collectibles. There's things I collect, and NFTs and physical collectibles. I just think NFTs are a better implementation of collectibles than physical collectibles.
I mean, you say collectibles, but on the one hand, we are in a metaverse world. Yeah. Walmart's going into the metaverse, Adidas is in the metaverse, Nike's in the metaverse, and there the collectible actually has a use case. Then you got collectibles that continue to attract royalties.
Right. No, I mean, the royalties are great. Look, NFTs for creators are amazing, right? Because they can keep on getting paid over and over again if they build enough of a community. NFTs as money-raising propositions like fractionalization for real estate, there's still a lot of questions there on the value proposition there. It really just depends on the application, but that's normal in any industry, right? Where you go from, okay, there's a lot of pain in 2017, 2018, to now there's a lot of experimentation, and you're starting to see some of the wins that are coming out, Bored Ape and others, and then you're starting to see other applications using NFTs that are non-collectible ones, like we use for tickets or whatever it may be, and there'll be more of those. But smart contracts can do a lot of things, and you're just going to see more applications.
So what percentage of your Mindspace is now crypto? You say 80% of all your
For me, it's a little different. I mean, it's Mavericks during in season, like 99%, but away from that, I'd say almost all my time, like, I don't look at traditional stocks as much anymore. So if it comes to, I'm not like, okay, what's on the stock market, what's good, what's bad? It's more like because I think smart contracts can be so disruptive, that's what I look for.
Do you ever look at market cycle? Like when you look at the markets now and say, okay, look, we're nearing a top or we're at a bottom. You don't look at that?
Not at all. Not at all. Like, I mean, I mark to market my portfolio. Like I check to see, where's this at or where's that at. But as long as I see, because I base my investments on where I see the utility. So Bitcoin doesn't have a lot of utility, right? We can argue about Strike, we can argue about the Lightning Network, and you can tell me all you want about El Salvador, but El Salvador has to buy their Bitcoin in dollars just like everybody else, right? So there's nothing special there. And so Bitcoin's a great store of value, but Ethereum and Polygon that I both own a lot of, you can start to see the utility. You're starting to see more and more applications pop up there, and we'll see what happens with ETH 2.0 in terms of fees, gas fees, and I think Polygon's done a great job. And you've got other blockchains trying to do the same thing, but all the blockchains are kind of in a death war, right? Trying to get users and applications, and I think whoever comes up with applications where just somebody walking down the street in Miami can say, oh yeah, I use that. Just like, Instagram, at the beginning, what the hell is Instagram? And then everybody got it, went viral, right? We haven't gotten that first viral mainstream crypto-based application yet. We will. That's what I'm looking for in terms of investments.
You mentioned Ethereum and you mentioned Polygon, which are both Ethereum.
Right.
Do you look at other blockchains? Do you look at Solana and Avalanche?
Yeah, I look at all of them, right? But I don't see, they're trying to build developer bases, but I see a lot of Me Too stuff. So I don't, they go up, the tokens go up and down, and you can speculate on it. But you know, unless I see something that's truly unique, I don't get excited.
Mark, thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure having you. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man. Enjoyed it.